Hello everybody and welcome back to episode number 2 now of Alma, Missouri. I really enjoyed episode 1 and I tell you what, I think quite a few people did. Yeah, I'm very impressed for little old me, a little old channel. It's only been out a few days, it's up well over 1,000 views, nearly got 100 likes. These are the kind of figures you want, especially when you're a newer channel. Amazing. Now I'm hoping today this will transform ever so slightly, not a huge amount, but we absolutely need to place a silo. That is for definite. And I want to place a workshop actually, so good shout. I completely forgot the combine that we bought, which of course was used, and we got it for a really good price, but it does need a repair. So we're potentially losing yield because it's not being repaired, and we don't want to be doing that, especially when we've kind of inherited a field that's, wow, only got 59% yield bonus potential, I think is what it said. So we've got to maximise. So I definitely need to fix up the harvester a little bit. So down there, by the end of the episode, hopefully we'll see a silo somewhere, and we'll see some sort of workshop, some sort of shed, or I'm not too sure. I quite like the older style looking one. What a nice house, by the way. What a nice house. This is a great mod. As you know, if you watch any of my other videos, I do like ones that are slightly interactive, and this is cool, you know. Very detailed. Very detailed. I like it. Even got a microwave there for my microwave meals. Nice. And this bit I found quite funny. You can actually spray some air freshener. Yeah, I didn't need to. I've not been to the toilet yet, by the way. But yeah, I like this. What a cool little mod. What a cool little mod. I think there's a wardrobe in there as well. Ideal. Anyway, right, better shut the door. Keep the heating in. Not that we need it here in sunny Missouri. So yeah, I think probably one of the first things I need to do actually is place that silo. Because I want to empty the auger wagon, which of course was Polish or Russian, I don't know. Definitely wasn't American. So I do want to empty that and replace it with something a little bit more American. In fact, I'll jump straight in and I'll show you. So I did not realise these brands were available for crossplay, but they were. So if I can find it, where on earth's the all wagon section? Where is it? It's right there. So yeah, you can get the Kilbros one, and it is crossplay, and it looks cool. That's definitely kind of American, isn't it? Old school American, I want to say. Its capacity is fantastic. It also actually has the ability to extend right up to 35,000 litres. So that's the one. We need to get that. And I will, of course, keep it in that orange as well, because I think that's the kind of standard colours for the Kilbros brand. So we're going to get that today. We're going to get that today. We're going to get that foreign piece of rubbish off the farm, send it back to Poland or wherever it's from, and we'll get that auger wagon. So yeah, I need to empty that, so there's no good me jumping straight into continuing the harvest because the trailer is pretty much full. So we're going to jump straight into this view, which is a bit backwards. I don't normally get straight into this kind of thing, but it's what we got to do. Now, I'll just go through what I'm thinking very roughly. I want to place, if I go into the tools section, I think these are cool. I think that's just really cool. And that is, I mean, for me, that's definitely American, I would say. Don't know why the interactive zone marker's in there lit up though, because I have got that turned off. I hope that disappears. So what I'm thinking is, anyway, I want to place that kind of here somewhere. I have to move the tracks ever so slightly, but I do want to place it here. And right, we've got to try not to hit the trees. Let's go with that. It's going to level the ground out. Again, I don't mind so much on this one. I don't mind so much. So it's probably given us some sort of strange mound there. It has, but that's fine. Again, we'll put something down here at this lower level. Now, I don't want to put the silo here, because right on a corner, when we start getting the big trucks, and you know, it's going to be a big Mack or potentially a TLX version, and a massive trailer. putting the silo on a curve is going to be quite awkward. So I want to be putting the silo kind of here somewhere, really, on a perfectly kind of straight bit. So to space it out, I feel like maybe I should just pop a little shed. And I know there are some real cheapos somewhere. So let's just have a little look through. That one there, potentially. I mean, that does match the one next to it quite well, doesn't it? It's only £5 as well. It's not bad. What's this for? Yeah, I think that's... No, that's not going to work. What else have we got? That there. It says bale storage, but I mean, I could just use that as a garage, couldn't I? Do you know, I quite like that as well. Yeah, I do. But that's £25 over £5. For now, I think that is a no-brainer. Because that's quite cheap, isn't it? Now, can we position it here somewhere? Would like it to kind of be here. That kind of works, you know. Let's do that. Kind of works. Obviously I paid a bit more to get it level, but I do want it to do that. So I'll just smooth this area out here and make it look a bit better at some point. But actually that does kind of work. Yeah, that does kind of work. And then maybe I put the silo here somewhere. Right, let's have a look. I don't want to go into too deep right at the beginning of an episode, so I want to just get the basics in place, and then I'll probably end the episode again with just a little bit more touching up. So, now this here, I quite like the look of this one. 400,000 litres is obviously a really good capacity. It's the one that comes with the map, but it is £50. I don't want to waste money just for the sake of it, because you've got this. Now this is £10, and it looks cool. I think I prefer the look of something like that. What I don't like is that its capacity is 5 million. That's ridiculous. It kind of takes away an element of challenge, doesn't it? Because you have unlimited storage. But I think I am going to go with that. And then I'm going to set like a bit of a stipulation in reference to crops. Because actually it's pretty much level there, isn't it? It's not going to cost me much to place that. I don't know what the difference is between these two, by the way. They look exactly the same. Yeah, literally identical. So I don't know what the difference is there. So I think... I mean, I'm probably going to put a shed there. So maybe something like that. Let's just do it. Cool. So what I'm going to do with regards to kind of a stipulation, by the way, is we don't need the silo extension because it's got a 5 million capacity, but I imagine that's multi-fruit. So what I'm actually going to do is, if we have multiple types of crop, I'm going to place an extension for each type of crop we need to store. Again, we don't need to, but something like that, look, £2,000. If I've got it, you know, if I fill this with sorghum, and then I want to put peas into a silo, what I will do is I will place another silo extension just to imitate that's where the other crop is going. I don't need to do that. This is kind of me with a little bit of kind of realism, I guess. And I'll do the same again. If I have a third type, I'll place a different one. I just quite like the idea of having sort of three different height silos all together. I think that would look quite cool. Yeah. So that will be the kind of the plan. But for now, obviously, I don't need to worry about that at all, do I? Right, so let's jump back out of this menu. I'll jump back over to the controller. Oh, doesn't that look better now? Look. We've got some form of farmyard starting. Brilliant. Now, I could quite easily spend an entire episode doing this. I really could, because I do get carried away, but I don't want to. Not right now. There's quite a bit of leveling I've got to do, so I've got to level that off there, which is fine. Probably have to smooth this out a little bit here. I do also want to make this yard area a little bit bigger, so I'll probably throw that back a bit further there. But actually, I like it. And I've left enough room behind there purposely for those expansions. And also, let's face it, any more sheds I place, they're going to be about that deep from the end anyway, aren't they? Yeah, I like it. It looks good. And I'll tell you what, that's a decent sized shed as well, isn't it? That is a decent size. It looks similar to the one I used in Saskatchewan, actually, just a different colour. Maybe it is. So that means we'll get probably a Mack and a full-size trailer in there. Ideal. Right, let's get to it. Let's go. So I want to empty this auger wagon out. Now, in theory, a bit weird that we've put it into an auger wagon and then we're going to put it into a silo anyway. I could have just done that with the trailer. But I'm thinking ahead, because eventually, as we expand, as we buy fields much further out of town, I'm not going to be wanting to to and fro with trailer load back to the silo. So that's where the kind of, for me, I feel the more American style, take a semi, I should say, take that to the field and use the auger wagon to unload and bring it all back in one big lump sum. So I am going to stick with the auger wagons. Now, I'm guessing it's going to want me to put the auger pipe out. Yeah. So this is going to be a bit like a combine, isn't it? Let's open that up. Where it's not actually going to prompt me to unload it. It's just going to start unloading it. So let's do that a moment. And then I'll park this up out of the way quickly. Bring the combine back just to repair it in our new workshop. It's got some good animations, this auger wagon, it really has. But that is clearly not American. And it's very slow at unloading. Right, while that's doing that, let's just jump. God, I always forget I can kind of teleport. Which way's quicker? Let's just keep going this way. I won't start to harvest, I won't put any crop in it, just in case it has a bit of a moment and it loses what it's got in it. Now, I did check the header speed maximum is 6 miles per hour. So it does do 6. So it is more than capable of running this size header at 6 miles per hour. But I certainly think it would struggle if we wanted to go bigger. So when we get to a point when we want to go bigger, we literally have to go bigger all round. Harvester, header, the lot. And at that point, I don't know if I'll sell this or I'll keep this as a secondary harvester. Ready for kind of additional helpers, I guess. Yeah, that would be cool. Now this is going to be a bit of a squeeze. Let's jump out and move that out of the way. It's finished unloading. Finally. Do you know, I always wondered, up until I'd actually used my first tracked vehicle, if it actually left track marks or if it just left tyre marks. And it does leave some pretty cool track marks. I like that. I like that. Don't you think this game just has fantastic detail? The makers of this game, they did a really good job. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Just to mention on that as well, I have actually applied for Giant's partner program. So again, I've mentioned it before, it makes absolutely no difference at all for me. For someone like me, what difference does it make? It's just a pride thing. It's just kind of a proud moment, really, that I'm able to. I'm even in a position where I can request it, so that would be great. That should hopefully come through this week. I think I've hit all of the various thresholds to get it, so fantastic. Right, this one here, what's it gonna cost? God, that is pretty bad as well, isn't it? So interestingly, and I like that, I do like that, this workshop doesn't let you paint. I mean, it doesn't have the facilities to paint, does it? Really? It's not like it's got a spray booth. I do like that. It means that if we want to do any painting, we're going to have to go back to the main garage in town. That's cool. Good. So just the repair. £3,500, which is fine. It's not a lot, is it? Obviously, when you're buying equipment used, it needs repairing far more regularly. God, I nearly had to repair the auger pipe as well then. Nearly did it through my new workshop. Right. So we'll get this back. I do wonder I do wonder if I just set this on an AI helper actually. This is where having the real helpers is going to come in handy. But for now I might just set it to go up and down. It should in theory just do this part of the field because I've sort of segregated them now. So we might just let it do that. I can't imagine it will be full by the brakes on this are awful. I can't imagine it will be full by the time we're back. But yeah, while I've got the money, I am gonna. Do you know, I should have amateur. I should have thought about that a bit better, shouldn't I? Let's preempt the dodgy helper. Let's go overlap it a bit. Hopefully, if I see in the distance, that might just catch all of the crop. Right, yeah, let's head on back. Whilst I've got the money, let's stick with the American theme and get rid of the only thing that's kind of letting the series down so far. Now, I'm very, very, very tempted to, again, talking about while I've got the money, let's jump into this view, it's a bit quieter, and I do like the look of this. I'm very tempted to. We had a production in Saskatchewan, and that's kind of, once you get into a production, that's where the money starts becoming a bit more free-flowing. I want to do something different, but this map does have its own kind of special features, and I do like to play with the special features. So, I think I'm going to buy the grain mill. And in actual fact, we're currently harvesting quite a big field of sorghum. I might get a grain mill, turn it into flour, and then aim to buy the bakery. Now the bakery you could say is base game, but this one I believe isn't, but it certainly doesn't look base game. It's been created with its own kind of style. But secondly, it has extra features actually in the bakery, so you can bake additional products. Yeah, and I think, I mean, to be honest, grain mills and bakeries are just a fantastic thing to do on this game. Making bread is such an easy way to make money. Such an easy way to make money. If I was to play on like a multiplayer server, like a competitive multiplayer, one of the first things I'd probably do is go straight into a bakery. I do really think so, because you can just harvest the product so easily, convert it into flour so easily. Yeah. Anyway, right, let's try and do this realistically. Reverse it back, block the entire road, and I assume I can sell it from this same place, surely. Where is it? There it is. So we're going to lose a bit of money. We've actually lost 100 and, I don't know, £80 or $80, something like that. Now this series, let's just repaint it. 183. Yeah, I feel like that we actually lost money by painting that, you know. Yeah, I think we did. We just spent 183 quid and we're not making that back. Maybe it's not always advisable to repaint. Let's sell it. Pretty sure it's only just over 12,000 anyway, so it is what it is. It's my mistake. I should have researched better. I should have found a much better solution. So that's wasted some money now. It's cost me some money. But I am excited to get this. Definitely. Okay. There we go. 24,100. I just added a couple of little decals. I figured the work light would be quite handy. I'm not going to change the tyre type, because that looks pretty cool. And also, I'm not going to put the extension on just yet, because 27,000 isn't bad, is it, for here and now? So we will buy that. Of course, no leasing in this series, by the way. So if you are one of the many new subscribers, because I really did get a good amount of new subscribers, which obviously I appreciate. It's kind of recognition in its own way, isn't it? If you are one of those new subscribers and you haven't seen the kind of the prequel to this, the series in Saskatchewan, which has led to this series, again, just a bit of a kind of an update or a reminder on the rules, really. So no leasing, and then I guess the other main one, other than crossplay only mods, of course, is if I'm doing contracts, it's just got to be contracts with equipment that I can do myself. So no borrowing equipment. I guess that kind of comes under the same the same rule as no leasing, really. No borrowing equipment. That's just, I don't know. Is that realistic or not realistic? It's just something I put in place to add a bit of challenge, because sometimes this sort of series is a bit too easy. Now, I've just stopped here to look at that. That's the grain mill, by the way. So thank you for letting me know in the comments. I wasn't sure if there even was one, but there is. It's right there. And obviously I will stick to buying. God, look, it's just said in the top corner. That harvester's got 80%. How fast is that AI worker going? Yeah, I do like to buy the base game, the base map models, I should say, rather than placing my own. It's just a waste of land as well, isn't it, if you place your own? Don't know. That's probably going to be about 100 grand, isn't it? And then the bakery itself, what are they normally? About 60 grand? 160 grand. But the earlier into this series we get it, the sooner it will make some decent money back for us. I really do think that's the way to go. And again, I mean, what more do I need? I've got a silo. I've got a pretty damn traditional Kilbros auger wagon. I've got a tractor and I've got a decent harvester. What more do I need? What more do I need? Right here, right now, not really a great deal more. So maybe I do it. Maybe I do it. We've still got 727 grand. I don't know. Do I maybe think, actually, instead of investing it on that, maybe it's worth spending on a bit more land? But then you're only selling the crop that you harvest at kind of base prices. Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely thinking a grain mill and a bakery is the right way to go. He's done a pretty good job, hasn't he? It's not too bad, actually. He's kind of going in the wrong direction, but I guess that's not really him. I probably should have upgraded the capacity, actually, shouldn't I, of the harvester? Yeah, that would have been better. And he could have carried on going. He might have got it all done then. That's a job for next time. Right, come on, mate. Jump out now. Let's spin this around. I did not plan that very well. Shocking. I think, to be honest, now that I'm in it, I might do a little bit more myself. Be interested to see if it runs a little bit better. That is a good length of auger pipe as well, actually, for this header. Just gives you plenty of clearance. So if we buy that grain mill, this grain can get straight into flour production straight away. I do think that's the way to go. Now, you will notice as well, actually, I've still kept the game month in August. I haven't sped the time up really, it's just on ×1. Just in August. What I like to do is start a new month every episode. But that would be silly in this one. Not in the initial couple of episodes, because there is just so much to get on with. So we'll make up for it. We'll catch up. Definitely. Let's finish this harvest. I don't think this is going to take too long. So what I'm kind of thinking is, in relation to having the helpers, obviously this series, like I mentioned already, probably not so long ago actually by the time I edit all of this, but I probably just mentioned no leasing. And again, that's just one of the challenges. But maybe there is a slight compromise to that. What I'm thinking is, if I've got helpers, for every helper that's on the map at a time to help me to do a job, I'm able to lease one bit of equipment, almost like they've brought a piece of equipment with them. So the cost of actually leasing the equipment would kind of, I don't know, I guess almost role play as the cost of paying the person to help. But it also means that we have the additional benefit of that piece of equipment for that episode as long as they are helping. So again, that gives me far more incentive to get people playing on the map with me more often and as often as possible. So yeah, that might be something, just something I'm thinking about for a minute. But I am certainly, I think, a couple of episodes, two or three more episodes maybe, just to get the basics in place. Just to get the absolute basics set up. And then just get people in to help. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the initial seeding probably on my own without a helper, just so I can get some good footage, and I want to use some new equipment I've never used before. But then after that, once I've done the kind of basics and it's all done, certainly it'll be helpers galore then, hopefully. That is the plan. Any second now should be done. There we go. Oh, the brakes are bad. I think I just... Oh no, I damaged a bit of crop. Right, I need to remember that. The brakes are awful in this combine. And let's just space ourselves a bit better. Keep the engine running. Jump into this one. So field is pretty much done now, to be honest with you. And what have we got now? This would be 20,000. We've already put about the same 20,000. So good, 40,000 litres of soybean. Which I think, if I went for the grey mill, is just 40,000 litres of flour. I think it's 1 for 1, isn't it? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's different for each. In fact, no, I think I'm doubting myself as I say it, actually. I'm pretty sure sorghum. Sorghum is one of the better ones, though. Isn't it like 3 to 1 or 2 to 1 or something like that? I don't know. Either way, while that's unloading incredibly slowly, let's have a look at what products actually sell for over in America, because I've not checked. So, best price to sell this is January. Obviously, we're nowhere near. We're pretty much at the lowest price currently. Yep, not quite, but not far off. Okay, and I just want to check out the flour. Because actually, flour itself, even without thinking about a bakery, okay, doesn't seem like much in it. If you get 1 for 1, actually it's worse. So it must be more. It must be like 1 sorghum to 2 flour or something, maybe. The thing is, the only way you're going to know is to buy it, isn't it? At its best price, it's worth a little bit more. Bread, however, look, at its best price, bread is worth 5,500. Even now, it's not bad at its lowest. I just think bread it's just such a good way to start. For definite. You can get into bread straight away on any map, on any save. You can just get straight into bread. I think that's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to know if it's really worthwhile until I buy the actual productions, am I? And then, by the time I do that, it's too late. Right, come on, let's get this finished now. We're pretty much there. The final stint. If I press the right button, don't turn the harvester off, that's alright. Alright, let's just get this last little bit. It should fit into that auger wagon as well, I would have thought. Then we'll park up the John Deere. I'm kind of hoping to get more around the 30-minute, maybe slightly over 35-minute mark, which is where I'd prefer these episodes to be. 40 to 45 minutes ideally. I know the very, very first episode was, I don't know, a few minutes off of a whole hour, which is great. I mean, it's great for me to film an hour's content and release it as one video, but also, at the same time, for you guys, anyone who's viewing it, that's a big chunk of time, isn't it? Out of your day. 1 hour watching a video is a big chunk of time, especially if you're like me. You know, with the 3 kids, and by the time you do the basics, get them washed, get them into bed, and come down and do the kind of the standard chores. My missus will kick my butt if I don't sort the dishes and make sure the house is looking nice and tidy. So then find an hour in that to watch a video, it is hard work. So yeah, I think it's a bit too much. I think almost seeing a video is an hour long scares me away sometimes. So yeah, I'll do my best. Let's aim for 40 to 45 minutes. I reckon we can do that. So we'll do this. I don't know, I probably won't time-lapse this bit, I'll probably just time-lapse the rest of it. This I'll just skip to the end. And then we'll get it all parked up, and we'll just jump in and we'll finish the episode again on just a tiny little bit of landscaping. Probably tidying up a little bit. I do want to get the fence finished outside the house, which of course I couldn't do in the last episode because I'd left the damn truck in the way, like I always do. So I do want to get the fence finished there. I want to get the kind of nice gate put in place so it's sort of an enclosed living area. I might even stick a little small chicken coop in that little grass area as well, just so it looks like the chickens are inside the fenced area. I think that would look quite cool. There we go. That is the last of the sorghum. So we'll just get that tipped out and then stick it into the silo. Do you know, it's quite an unusual feeling for me, unusual sensation to open up the menu and see how much product I've actually got in that menu, because I'm just not used to having the silo. I normally just leave it in a trailer. But yeah, I think on this map, that's not going to be an obvious thing to do. Definitely not. Right. Drive this back to the kind of semi-built yard. Don't know if I can quite call it a farmyard yet. Tell you what, it looks pretty cool with that massive silo there in the distance though. I do like that. I do like that. In fact, it's taller. Oh, it's not taller than that one. I was going to say, maybe it's one of the tallest ones on the map. No, clearly not. Okay, right. Let's pop the header onto the trailer. I know I'm going to regret buying a dolly trailer because I just absolutely hate them. And I've never used it, but I don't think the axle lock kind of mod thing is a crossplay mod. I don't know. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. But anyway, let's get rid of this. Connect it up. I don't know where I'm going to put it because I'm certainly not going to try and reverse it. Not sure. Oh dear. It's definitely not the right trailer for this header, is it? No. Absolutely not. I wonder what the right trailer is for this header. Is there even one? I thought it came as part of the same pack, but maybe not. Right, forget that idea. Just no matter what it is with a dolly, I just hate it. I just hate everything about dolly trailers. Oh, now it's stuck to the header. Come on. There we go. I told you, dollies, they're just bad news, dollies. Just bad news. We'll just leave it connected. We're going to get straight into that next field next episode anyway, aren't we? We've got a load of peas to do. It's quite exciting actually, I've never done peas. I wonder what the animation's going to look like. Now, hopefully... Oh, I don't want to close that up, I want to close the harvester up. Hopefully with it closed up it might fit. Yeah. Maybe not quite with the width of the header though. That's fine. That is fine. Good. Leave myself a little gap to get out. Oh dear. So, this is not the harvester solution. We still need to build another shed potentially. Yeah. Now let's just teleport over. I am really loving using John Deere stuff, by the way. I really am. And the only reason I've avoided it is because I didn't want to be too common. But no, I am loving this. Now, why is this 300 odd horsepower tractor struggling to pull an auger wagon with only 26,000 litres of grain in it? It should be able to do this easy. What's going on? There we go. Picking up speed. Okay, I don't know if I missed the option, but I would prefer this auger wagon coming out the other side. I'm not gonna lie. This is a bit of a nightmare. I don't know about, did the other one come out the same side? Don't know. When I next customise, if I could have reversed that, I might do that. It would be a little bit easier. Because we're going to have a big shed where I am now. We're not going to have all of this route to manoeuvre. But I have taken on board what everyone said, by the way. You all know me too well. And it was multiple comments. Yes, I won't build the yard too tight. As tempting as it is, I won't. I know I have got to get some real big equipment. This tractor is going to be one of the smallest tractors by the time we really get going. Definitely going to be one of the smallest ones. And that's going to be one of the smallest harvesters as well by the time we get going. So I need to keep this relatively open. Relatively. Right. Now. The harvester has taken up a whole entire shed, so we will have to put the auger wagon and the tractor into our workshop. Again, I just quite like to. It's not a need, is it? Really? I've had lots of people. I want to say Farmer Willie B has done loads of research. Timmy as well. Loads and loads. It makes no difference leaving equipment out in the rain. It makes no difference leaving equipment dirty. Actually, it doesn't affect how much maintenance they need. And yeah, as much as there's lots of rumours, it doesn't. But I still quite like to park stuff away. I just think it looks better, doesn't it? Right, let's go. That thing is awesome, though. That thing really is awesome. Right, we're good. What, am I going to guess? Am I going to say it out loud? If I'm wrong, I can cut it, I suppose, can I? I reckon we're on 38 minutes. So I'm going to spend 5 or 10 minutes now doing some landscaping just around here. And then, yeah, we'll just end the episode, really. So we've got 727,947 left. I'm trying to position my person somewhere that's not in the way. Let's flip back over to my mouse. There we go. Jump into the construction mode. Someone said they use this mode as kind of like a drone, which is a good idea, actually. Kind of, if you missed that initial preview episode, this is a good way of kind of seeing just how big the fields are. This one looks quite big, but it's very thin and long. This one, I don't reckon there's much in it between the two, you know, because it's just, I don't know, short and fat, a little bit like me. Yeah, short and fat field. I don't think there is too much in that in terms of size. But if we were to put that into one field, that would be a good size field for sure. Okay, right. Anyway, enough talking. Probably stick this into a very small little end of episode time lapse. Just going to repair up this section here. And then make my way down to the yard a bit and do some levelling. Okay, I think that will do for now, and I think I'm just going to keep doing little bits like that, you know, at the end of the episodes, just to spread out that landscaping. But I'm very, very glad to get myself a nice little gate here. So maybe in this grass area here, if I can get a small enough little chicken coop, I'll put something there, something that looks sort of free range. That would be quite cool. It's a little side hobby. Gates into the far, do you know what? It didn't actually tell you which way they open, so I'm hoping, it doesn't matter I suppose, but I'm hoping they open towards me. Whew, that was a 50-50 guess. Cool, I like that. Nice little farm there. It let me place it right up to kind of here, to be honest. So we must own pretty much all of these trees. But then it's getting into that bit of land. So I don't know. I don't know. I assumed the end of the land would be about here, which is why I placed it there. What I'll probably have to do is, I don't know, bring a little wall maybe onto this hedgerow here. Maybe a little wall onto here somewhere, just to make it look more realistic instead of like I've randomly placed it there. But actually that looks pretty damn cool. I like that. And then yeah, of course I had to put the flags there. Got to represent my own country, and I've got to represent where we're at. So UK and American flag right next to each other. Look at that. Doesn't that look cool? Threw a few trees in. I can't resist trees. Do you know what? I never leveled that bit though. Next episode. Next episode. I placed the tree in such a way that it wasn't actually blocking anything, I hope. Looks good. This I didn't do a great deal other than just push it back a bit further. I felt like this yard area needed to be bigger. I don't think I'm going to place any sheds or anything where I'm looking now. I think I'll try and keep all of the sheds along this sort of outer line here. I think that will kind of work. When we have big Arctic lorries, or big semis I should say, because 70% of the people who watched episode number 1 were from America, so I try and get used to saying semi. But this will probably just about be a turning circle. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. If not, maybe we'll kind of two-way this little section so we can go back on ourselves there. And I just kind of pushed the lane up. I shrunk it up a little bit, really, because it was far too wide. And actually, that looks quite tight to look at now, doesn't it? But I think that's fine. I literally want this to look like like a little through road straight through the middle of the yard. Like it. I think I've done it in such a way it's separated the living area from the actual farm area. I think it looks pretty damn cool. I do. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. And in the future, obviously, we'll have sheds and things down there next to the silos, and we'll have more than that one silo when we start planting extra crops or putting extra crops into a silo. And here, that garage door in the first episode, which I didn't realise was there, has inspired me a little bit. So actually I'm going to level this off and make that a driveway up to there. I'll put some sort of barn here, and then actually we'll chop down. I mean, we might even get away with just chopping this one tree down, and then we'll make this an actual like through road into that field, so we have an entrance, proper entrance to our other field. I think that will look quite cool, and this will definitely be wide enough to get the big equipment through. I'm certain of it. In fact, you know, this little random piece here behind the house is actually massive. It is actually a huge bit of land. Definitely. Again, I keep mentioning keep it real, but I'd love to have had that much land to waste in that series, for definite. Anyway, right, let's jump up here just for a little overview of our yard. I think it's coming along now. I think it's looking pretty good, and it's looking nice. It's quite attractive. It's not just randomly placed buildings. Yeah, I like it. So that's it now. I don't know. What do we reckon? It's probably 45-minute now, isn't it? I reckon we're on a 45-minute episode. So as always, look, I really appreciate everyone who's kind of just clicked on those thumbnails really and just taken a look. Episode number 1 of this has gained me probably 40 subscribers. So anyone who's new, I really appreciate it. And I do hope that the series continues to be something you enjoy. Make sure you comment. I literally, one of my biggest claims, I guess, at the minute one of my best traits is I've not missed a comment. I do miss some of the replies to comments, I'm not going to lie. I mean, this episode number 1 now is pushing 100 comments. It's very difficult to keep up with them, but I have not missed a comment. I've replied to every single comment I've ever had, but I am still small enough to be doing that. But yeah, do give me a comment. Give me some suggestions. I always appreciate it. And especially, you know, like I said, 70% of you watching are potentially from America. So anything I'm doing that kind of seems maybe not quite the American way, let me know, because I do like to try and replicate and imitate as much as possible of the area where the actual map is. So I do my best to, within reason, I mean, it is a game after all, but I do my best to make it as realistic as possible and stick to those kind of trends. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll probably speak to you all in the live chat, but until the next episode, cheers and gone.